Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hope everybody's having a great day. Today, we're going to be in the courtroom of Judge Tammi Long Hayward out of Clayton County, Georgia. She's going to be dealing with a defendant who is on a probation violation, has some traffic issues, and he seemed to have jammed himself up, and now he's in front of Judge Long, and she's going to give him the business in court. This is some of the things. This is one of the things I said about Judge Tammi Long. She's one of my favorite judges. Whether it's dealing with a sovereign citizen or a pro se defendant or whatever, she always speaks truth. She's compassionate, but at the same time, she's nobody to be played with. So, with that being said, let's get to this proceeding.
Your Honor, this is Mr. Isaiah Cowens for the petition for revocation.
All right, Mr. Collins, raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Ms. Chang, you solemnly swear or affirm any testimony that you give in this matter will be true?
I do, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Collins, you can put your hand down, sir. You're before the court on State of Georgia versus Isaiah Emmanuel Cowens, and you have two cases that were adjudicated before this court, 2021 CR 03948 and 2023 CR 04882. You were before this court for driving, speeding 35 plus miles an hour over the limit, driving on a suspended or revoked license, red light violations, and on the 4th day of January 2024, you were sentenced to 12 months on probation. You have 3 months and 29 days remaining. You failed to report on January 10th, January 22nd, February 27th, April 23rd, May 2nd of May 23rd, June 27th, July 7th, and within 10 days of July 23rd, 2024, as directed. You last reported to probation on June 26th of 2024. You failed to document proof of completing a driver improvement course, and you failed to complete community service. You have failed to document completing 73 hours of community service in lieu of the fines. You've documented no hours. All right. So, Mr. Cowens, why haven't you done anything I asked you?
Your Honor, if I may, Mr. Cowens has completed the driver improvement course. He's informed me that his proof of completion on his telephone, which he is in the custody of the county at this time, but can provide proof once he has access to his telephone. The failures to report are accurate.
Yes, ma'am.
The failures to report are accurate as stated in the petition. As for failure to complete community service, in lieu of fines, he has paid $1,046 in fines, and we have a receipt of that transaction, and that took place on May 7th of this year, Your Honor, May 7th of 2025.
Mr. Cowens, why couldn't you do what I asked you to do?
Your Honor, I do apologize, but I did welcome home a newborn, and I was working 12-hour shifts, and I was the only one working in my household. It was really tough trying to make ends meet, but I do apologize for not completing it, Your Honor.
Ms. Chang?
Your Honor, with regard to the payments, his father did make a payment of $1,046, which was the fine balance of $596 and supervision fees in the amount of $450. That did not cover, however, the fine on count one of this sentence. There was an adjustment of $730 on that fine in lieu of 73 hours of community service. So he hasn't paid that fine.
Okay.
With regard to the...
Hold on just a second, Ms. Chang.
Yes,
I don't need to, is that his daddy in the back with the beard? How I know these things? Come on up, sir. How old are you, Mr. Cowens?
Me or my dad?
You.
I'm 28.
Okay, I'm gonna need you to move over for a second. Right there.
All right, y'all. So Judge Hayward just told my man to step aside. So that means she's about to lay into the father. All right. So let's get to it.
Mr. Cowens,
Yeah.
why are you paying for that boy? He is 28 years old. He is a grown man. And what I gave him to do was the simplest sentence I give. Go down to the Department of Driver Services, take the driver improvement course, which is a one-day course. You take that on a Saturday or a Friday, knock that out, get the certificate, be done. You can complete your probation as soon as you paid the fines and fees or done the community service and the driver improvement course. He could have been done in less than a month. He has dragged this out over a year. And then you come into the rescue for a grown man. Let me ask you one question. When you left the house, when you was in high school or whatever it is, when you left your parents' house, how old were you?
19.
How many times did you go back to live with them and they take care of you after that point?
Probably about 4, maybe 5.
You went back to the house and they took care of you.
Yeah.
And you had to relaunch 4 times.
About that much, but
yeah, let's not do that with young Mr. Cowens.
But Your Honor, in his behalf, though, that was none of my money. I just came and paid. It was the money it was his money from working that he saved up.
Well, then if he saved it up, he could have paid it. The reason the fine and fees are so much is because instead of doing what he was supposed to do in a short time, he dragged it out. You know how much supervision fees are per month? $52. Am I right, Ms. Chang?
$50, Your Honor.
$50
Yes.
for supervision fees. So had he done what I asked him to do in the first month or two, he would have been able to pay the fines and fees for the original sentence and gotten the driver improvement course. He decides he's not going to come to court. He's not going to show up and do his probation reports. He's going to risk it and give me this song and dance about how I was working so hard. Okay, yeah, I don't care. I worked 2 jobs and went to college. Same time. So what I'm saying to you is don't ignore the court, because I have the ability to shut all this down. And don't rescue him for a bad mistake he made, because the money that you paid, that's the extra money that it costs because he didn't show up for probation. That's the extra money. Had he taken the opportunity that I gave him to go ahead and do the driver improvement course and to go ahead and do those, he said he couldn't pay. So I said, okay, we'll do community service, but he could have paid. So it was either or, but he comes in here, he can't do it. The next thing you know, you have to come bring his money, your money. I don't care whose money it is, but we need to stop rescuing these children who are trifling, because we are not making grown people. We're not making grown people. We're making people who, one, if you get in trouble with the courts, you don't pay attention, you don't listen, you don't read. Every instruction I gave him was in his sentencing sheet.
Yes, ma'am.
Why would you drag this out more than a year and increase the amount of money that has to be paid and end up going back to jail for something that was a traffic offense, which he didn't have to do in the first place, because who's driving 35 plus miles an hour over the limit with no license? Irresponsible. I am tired of seeing irresponsible adults. He's 28. He is an irresponsible adult. And we have, as parents, have got to stop coming in here and rescuing irresponsible people.
Yeah, y'all. She's speaking facts. I mean, I have 3 of my own, and I'm a grandfather. So I have two granddaughters, 2 daughters of my own, and a son. And she's speaking facts. You can't be bailing out your kids every time they get into something, because they're not going to learn that way. And it's a tough pill to swallow, but hopefully the father's taking heed. And his son.
I'll tell you right now, my mama was a police officer. I better not have called her and said, Ma, this my one phone call in jail. I'd have still been there. Would have still been there. Right. My husband said the same thing. His mom was a teacher, daddy a teacher. He said his mama told him, if you ever get arrested, don't waste your call on me, because I have given you everything you need to be successful. Don't mess up.
Absolutely.
And he out here, first of all, There's no reason for you to be, he ain't driving an ambulance, no reason for him to be driving 35 plus miles an hour over the limit with a suspended license. And then he's going to drag this out over a year.
Yo, my man. Yo, he must just didn't care, man. I mean, yeah, I mean, think about that. 35 miles per hour over the speed limit with a suspended license, yo. I mean, that's the ultimate reckless. I mean, you know, well, he wasn't high, high or drunk, I guess, and thank God he didn't hit nobody. But man, almost 40 miles an hour over the speed limit with a suspended license at that.
Increasing the amount of money owed to the court when he could have just taken care of this and showed up. I tell everybody, if you hear me say it, I tell everybody, the quickest way to get rearrested is to fail to show up for your probation report. You can ask any, if you look at Mr. Lynch, Mr. Lynch has been working with me probably longer than anybody else connected with this court, except for my judicial assistant. And both of them will tell you, I say it every single time. The quickest way to get rearrested and to mess up on probation is to fail to report for probation. He spent a whole year flapping in the wind.
Hello, excuse me.
I asked him to do. Mr. Wedlow, if you interrupt me one more time, I'm definitely sending my deputy to get you. Now, Mr. Cowens, how long you want to be a little boy? When you gonna grow up and be a man?
Right now, Your Honor.
Oh, it's taking me talking to your daddy and telling him to stop rescuing your butt for you to finally decide at 28 you gonna be a grown man.
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
Okay.
Your Honor, may the state be heard on this?
Hold on, let me hear what Ms. Chang said before I'm hearing from the state. Ms. Chang, tell me what you think I should do with this grown man who refuses to act like a grown man.
Your Honor, I wanted to mention I emailed additional documents. I don't know if you this morning,
Hold on, let me pull them up.
and that's with regard to the driving class. It's an email that I received from the school yesterday.
All right, Ms. Chang, what does this mean? Is this is it done?
No, Your Honor. I received the driver improvement contract on March 20th of this year from the defendant's father, from Mr. Cowens. And I sent an email to the school yesterday, I believe, and they replied back that he reported on July 13th, 2024 to take the class, but he did not successfully complete the class. He left early and didn't return to complete it. So I just wanted to make the court aware of that.
Yeah, because this doesn't look like the certificate we should have if he has successfully completed.
Correct.
What's your recommendation, Ms. Chang?
So the recommendation I had sent to Lister and Holt was prior to me receiving this email from the driving class. But the recommendation is to revoke 15 days and close the case.
All right. Mr. Tipton?
Your Honor, if I may, Ms. Chang, how much longer does he have on probation?
He has 3 months and 29 days remaining.
Your Honor, state's recommendation is 45 days, suspend the balance, and during that suspended time, he is to have his license suspended. He is to serve it with suspension.
All right. Mr. Taylor?
Your Honor, although it was Mr. Mr. Cowan's father that paid the fines. He has paid over $1,000 in fines. I suggest, or I would recommend that you follow the probation officer's recommendation in this matter.
So, Mr. Tipton, talk to me about this. You say suspend 45 days suspended, but suspend his license in that 45 days?
No, Your Honor, we're going, after 45 days in jail, the state's recommending that he go on a suspended sentence where during the suspended sentence, his license is totally suspended. The court can put that in the recommendation or the probation order, and we can send an investigator down to serve him with the suspension.
Mr. Collins Jr., you got anything you want to say?
Me not reporting is false. I had talked to the guy that was there. I was just late coming back, and I have the proof that it's completed, my driving course.
Why didn't you submit the proof to your probation officer if you took this back in July of 2024?
Because I only received the receipt, which I showed her, but he actually emailed me the certificate copy to my phone that same day when she told me it wasn't valid, the receipt.
What day did you receive the certificate of completion?
Mr. Collins, once again, you didn't listen to anything I said. When I sentenced you, it was take the driver improvement course, not the one that you Google, but go to the Department of Driver Services, find a driver improvement course, take that course, and show proof of having taken it to your probation officer. So first of all, if you actually took it last year, you didn't show proof of having, what you thought Ms. Chang was going to track you down and say, hey, Mr. Collins, can you show me proof of having completed the probation? I mean, the requirements of probation, your driver improvement course? You thought she was going to come find you?
Oh, man.
So if you took it last year, allegedly, successfully, allegedly, why didn't you turn it in then?
Well, Your Honor, I didn't have necessary funds that I was back on my payments, which is why.
So you said instead of doing what the court said, I know I'm not doing the other part, so I'm just not going to report because the court said the most important part is to report for probation or you're going to get arrested. So I'm just not going to pay attention to what the court said. I'm going to do what I think I know. You are 28 years old, Mr. Collins. If you want to be successful in this world, you got to do several things. Number one is listen carefully. Number two is follow instructions. Number three, if you are unclear, ask. Number four, if you're scared of the consequences, man up and go ask and see what it is you need to do.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm just not going to do it. And then your daddy got to come down here and rescue your butt. I'm going to need you to grow up. Your daddy's not going to always be here. I'm going to need you to grow up and man up.
Yes, ma'am.
30 days.
Your Honor, is the court going to suspend his license? Or
No, he needs that because he's going to have to pay his daddy back for the money that he allegedly, his daddy says it's his money. But if it was his money, he could have already paid me that.
Understood, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, Ms. Bingham, it's not helping me, ma'am. I can only do one thing at a time. So you sending me text, you sending me chats. I am understanding what the situation is, but I need to talk it in the context of when I call that case. Okay, so stop sending me stuff.
Your Honor, is that 30
Yes.
days in closed case or 30 days in resumed probation?
Oh, he's not going back to probation because I'm not going to burden Ms. Chang with the foolishness. Why should I make her job harder? He's going to do the 30 days. How long has he already done?
He's done 7, I'm sorry.
This May the 6th, 7 days.
Okay, he'll finish the 30 days out. Why are you raising your hand, Mr. Collins? What do you want?
Your Honor, I have 2 kids and
And you should have been more responsible because a person with 2 kids, a father, because see, you're going to tell me, oh, I had 2 kids, I'm taking really the mother of your children is probably doing everything. So I'm not really impressed. But if you were being an active father the way you should have, you would have never risked going to jail. You would have never risked not reporting for probation. You would have never risked ending up in an orange jumpsuit or a red jumpsuit. You would have done quickly what it is you needed to do so you could be available for your family. That's what a man does. That's what a father does. So don't bring up your 2 kids that you got to take care of, because you could have taken care of them by following my instructions. You're going to do these 30 days.
That's facts. Everything she said
Keep
was
talking,
facts.
and I'll go with the 45. At some point, you have got to be held responsible. Everybody's making excuses for you. He a whole father, and he's out here not doing what he's supposed to do and risking jail. And now I'm supposed to say, oh, well, he's a dad. Oh, when really the baby's mother is probably doing everything anyway. Not impressed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
So that, all right, y'all. So that's the end of that proceeding. I know it wasn't a sovereign citizen, but for me, you know, I'm not going to say I enjoyed it, but I guess I could. I mean, you know, Judge Tammi Long, you know, she really went out her way to make sure she explained to my man that, look, you need to step up and be a man. You need to be a father. You need to be responsible. And she was a little harsh on him. You got to finish out those 30 days, but that's really nothing, because she gave him a break in the beginning. You know, my man didn't go to probation. He didn't finish his community hours. We're not even 100% sure if he even did his driver education or his driver safety training or whatever. And, you know, he seemed to still kind of, you know, been standing on the fact that, hey, you know, I got kids at home. I'm the breadwinner. I'm working. And he just kept making excuses, and she was not going for it. She laid into his father a little bit, and it is what it is. You know, hopefully he grows from it. Hopefully it registers with him and his father, that he needs to step his game up, and his father needs to let him grow up and be a man. So with that being said, I just want to thank you for checking out this case or this proceeding. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this. This is Carl from Sovcits and Chronicles. I'll catch you on the next video. God bless. Peace.